Good evening, and welcome to Plano East Band's winter concert. I'm John Brennan, Director of Bands here at Plano East, and I want to welcome you tonight to our concert. All the ensembles are looking forward to playing for you, finally seated in chairs. It's for some of them, it's been almost a year since they've actually had a concert experience, so we're excited to play for you. You're going to hear all kinds of music, new selections, and some classics from the band repertoire. Toward the back of the program, hopefully you all were able to scan the program on the way in. There's a QR code out there. There is a section that you will see as part of the Texas Assessment of Knowledge and Skills, or TAKS. Requirements for instrumental music requires that the curriculum include instruction in appropriate audience behavior for live performances. So you're graded on this as well, as we are. We're trying to teach you that. So we do ask you that we establish a professional environment, much like going to see the Dallas Symphony. It is appropriate to applaud at the end of a piece, but not during, etc. You know how to do it. The concerts tonight are being professionally recorded, both on audio and video, and then we will post them on our YouTube page in the near future. So you should subscribe to our YouTube channel, Plano East Band, to check that out. If you do plan a video, we ask that you go to the back if you want to make your own video so you're not distracting the people around you, okay? Before we begin, please check and make sure all electronic devices are turned off, or better yet, set to silent and turned off so you can just enjoy the music, okay? On stage before you is the Plano East Concert Band. They're under the direction of Miss Megan Pickle, and now it's time for some music. Please welcome to the stage Mrs. Pickle and the Plano East Concert Band.
Good evening. Welcome. Even though it's been kind of a weird start to the semester, at least we didn't have to move our concert like we did last year. We moved it up, and I guess the weather is associated with the band director's almanac now and not the world almanac, because as soon as we move something, then the weather comes. So, I don't know. But it's nice to see all of you. We are the Plano East Concert Band. My name is Megan Pickle. Our first piece that we just performed for you is entitled Palette, and they are different colors. So we started with yellow, and then we went to orange, and then we finished with red. And there are 3 other movements that are attached to that, but we only played the warm colors for you this evening to hopefully bring you a little bit of warmth inside of this freezing auditorium. But we have purple, green, and blue left on the rest of the color wheel, and we may take that over into our UIL performance later in April. But that was one of the first multi-movement works that we have started to work on, and the students did a fantastic job preparing that. Thank you for being here this evening. I wanted to take a moment to recognize our students who participated in the all-region audition process. This is one part of competition in the fall that you probably don't hear a lot about. It is kind of a quiet competition, and it is the first round of individual contests that our students participate in. Not all students are required to go to this audition, but some students do take it upon themselves to go to this audition. And if you participated in the all-region audition process, would you please stand? Even the ones that did not go to the audition, they are required to learn the etudes, and we perform them in class, and they are evaluated on them. And this music is very challenging. It is not usually melodic, and it's a lot of black ink in a very small space. And so learning the music on its own is an endeavor and a feat, and then taking the next step and going forth and going through that process is another challenge and task all in itself. So kudos to these students that did go through the audition. If you were selected to perform in an all-region ensemble, will you please remain standing? We do have one, and she's over here behind the piano. Students that did participate in the all-region process, and we had 2 students that made it through to the all-state performances, and they will be performing in a few weeks at the TMEA Clinic and Convention in San Antonio, Texas. You will hear a little bit more about that later when Mr. Brennan takes the stage. Coming up in a few weeks, we have our solo and ensemble contest. Students have been assigned solos, and they should be working on them in your homes or somewhere in the vicinity of your home. Perhaps they're in the garage, that's fine. But they should be practicing those solos. So if they haven't mentioned it, or if they haven't talked about it, or if you haven't heard any sounds coming from your garage, that's something that you want to ask about, okay? Because they do all have one, okay? So that is coming up in a few weeks. But the students prepare another individual piece, and some of them perform alongside a pianist. And for them, most of them, it's the first time that they are doing that, and it's an individual thing. And that can be a very nerve-wracking thing, because oftentimes it's the student and the pianist and the judge in the room, and they are open performances. So we invite you to come and watch your student, okay? Whatever their time is, whenever that schedule comes out, we don't have it yet, okay? Don't panic. We don't have it yet. But when that schedule comes out, find out when their time is. It is here on our campus. You don't have to go somewhere else. It is here on our campus, and we host that throughout the day. So those performances are open. We encourage you to come and watch your student perform in a different capacity than in the ensemble here on the stage. So that is coming up Saturday, February 17th, I believe. is what it is. Yes, the week after. The 18th? 17th? 17th, yes, the 17th, okay? So that is coming up in February. We also had our, going back to the all-region process, but I wanted to talk about the middle school and high school students that also participated in that. And we had 43 students that went through that process and were selected in some capacity for the middle school or the high school all-region bands throughout our feeders. So that's across the East Side cluster, and that is an incredible feat as well. So not only did we have these students, but we had some students from McMillan and Williams also participate in those performances, and then the middle school students, they went through their own region process, and they had their performance back in November, I think is what it was. But we had 43 students that went forward and did all of that stuff. So please give them a round of applause. If you are here in the audience with the students, really glad that you guys were able to come and hang out with us. Okay, one more thing and then I promised I would stop talking. We are blessed each spring for the last few years to have a student teacher. And we are super excited to have that, and sometimes we wonder if the student teacher is super excited to be involved in that too, because it's a lot. And jumping into the concert season with a high school band and one that is as notable as Plano East is, it can be a little bit daunting and it can be a little bit overwhelming. We hit the ground running, you guys know, but we keep doing that, and we are blessed to get a student teacher, and we hope that they feel the same way about us when they're done and they jump into the workforce, because band is a lifestyle, it's not just a career choice. But I don't know exactly. Mr. Dylan Brown, there you are, come on. This is our student teacher, Mr. Dylan Brown. Conducting a piece on the spring concert. So that'll be awesome, and it'll be really cool because it's the Fine Arts Center. No pressure. Okay, okay. Okay, without further ado, here is our concert march, the Vikings. little non-traditional, but I knew as soon as I heard that march that was it. We were sold. We didn't need to hear anything else. So a departure from your typical Sousa march or downbeats and upbeats and typical strains and things like that, but it'll stay with you, and I hope that it does. That's a fun one, and we will be keeping that into our UIL set. And I know that that's going to be one of my favorites for a long time. So, okay, before we perform our final piece, which is entitled Drive, I wanted to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of you in the audience and everything that you help to do for us, everything that you do with us, everything that you do for us, and everything that you do for the students here on stage, the students in the seats, and students past and future. We could not do what we do here in this building and on the marching field and in the stadiums halfway across the state without your continuous support. Thank you to the Plano East administration. Thank you to Plano ISD administration. Thank you to our feeder band directors. I know some of you guys are here tonight. Forgive me, I can't see all the way out there, but our McMillan directors, our Williams directors, Otto, Bowman, Armstrong, Murphy, we would not be able to have these performances without the time, dedication, and commitment from all of the teachers and all of the families, all of the parents, all of the grandmothers and grandfathers, all of the times that you have to carpool, all of the early mornings, all of the late nights, all of the times that the kids text you at 10:15 in the morning, and you're like, oh my God, I forgot this, please help me. Thank you. Every time, thank you a million times over. We are truly more successful and a stronger program because of your dedicated time and commitment to what these kids are doing. So thank you very much. February 24th, coming up here on campus as well in the gym, is our Jazz Night Swingin' Social, formerly the night in the 40s, but we have renamed it, and we are going to have games and food and music and a bunch of different stuff, raffles and silent auction, a ton of stuff happening that evening. That is on February 24th. Please come out. Tickets are $8 in advance, $10 at the door? Is that right? 5, 8? 8 in advance, says Mr. Matoka, our fearless band booster president. Thank you, sir. $10 at the door. So come out, support. That is another jazz concert. They gave one in November. They'll have that one, and then they have their one at the end of the year. So we would love to see you guys there and just enjoy that evening all the way through. So, okay, I think that's it. I'm sure I forgot something. Please forgive me. There's been a lot happening in the last 2 weeks. So, we will close our performance with Drive. Thank you so much for being here.